Tennessee is known around the world for several things, including a special potion known as Tennessee whiskey. Until recently, only 2 distilleries could legally make it. Nowadays, though, several smaller distilleries have stepped up to make their own version. Rob Wiles went to visit one of the new guys down in Linville.
Paul Allen Jr. farms near Pulaski. Today, he's harvesting corn, good white corn that will go into meal and grits and moonshine. Yep, once Paul Allen might have gotten into big trouble turning his corn into drinking liquor, although
within 5 minutes of here, I can take y'all to a couple of depleted, destroyed stills. So it's gone on here for a long time. Blair and Clay are not the first, but they're the first legal ones probably.
Well, we don't have to go deep into the woods and deliver a secret password to find out who's using Paul Allen's corn. All we have to do is head over to the Tenn South Distillery in Linville, where owners Blair Butler and Clayton Cutler are making honest-to-goodness white lightning.
We're using local Giles County white corn, and almost all the big distillers use yellow corn, and the white corn we think is a little milder, a little sweeter. So that's something that differentiates us from the big distillers. We're also making our Tennessee whiskey with wheat. Our recipe is corn, wheat, and barley malt, whereas most of the bourbons and the 2 large brands of Tennessee whiskey, they use wheat, rye, and barley malt. So wheat makes it also a little bit milder. It's a little less spicy than rye, and some people prefer that. So that's another thing that we're doing here.
Don't worry now, everything's okay. Distilleries like Tenn South can be set up quite legally these days, but how to set them up, now that's the question. A question which Clayton Cutler found quite intriguing.
There's no rule book about starting a distillery. There's no master manual. You have to do all your research the best that you can, come up with a plan, design for the equipment. A lot of that had to be designed just for this distillery because it's unique. There's not another one with our still and our rectification column set up and arrangement. And that's what I enjoy doing, is designing that. That's a little bit of my background, is process engineering, equipment design. And it was a challenge, but also very enjoyable to be able to do that and then have something finally up and running and working and producing a good product. That's very rewarding.
The reward includes more than moonshine. Blair Butler is a doctor by profession and a gin enthusiast.
I've been a gin connoisseur for years, and this is my gin recipe. I've been playing around with different gin recipes, and I came up with one that has a lot more citrus than most of the gin. Most people drink gin and add citrus to it, so I thought, you should probably just put more citrus in your gin to start with.
Gin and then Tennessee whiskey. Now, you probably know that some other guys also make Tennessee whiskey, so how would this whiskey be different from that's made by Jack and George?
The other big guys making 80,000 gallons a day compared to our 50 gallons a day. Just a vast difference. We wanted to give people a choice. The way it was done 200 years ago, and for the last 200 years for the most part, we think there's a place in the world for the Jack Daniels of the world, and there's a place in the world for us as batch distillers. So the products we make are vastly different. We just like to offer them, let people decide for themselves.
This is our 1,000-gallon cook tank.
People are judging for themselves, like Charles Jett. He's the mayor of Linville.
Everybody says it's really good and a good product.
So you go along with public opinion on that?
Right, yep. That's right, yep. The professionals say it's good. Yeah, I'll put it like that.
Sure, see, not only a different take on Tennessee whiskey, but a taste of Tennessee that Grandpa might have enjoyed if he weren't too afraid of the revenuers.
That recipe is authentic, from the hills, from the woods type. It's uncooked corn. It's the original sugar and corn recipe that will yield a really thicker, smoother, sweeter alcohol, especially with the white corn. And we just like them to have a taste of Tennessee when they leave here. In that bottle is taking them back 100 years, 150 years to what they would have gotten in some real quality shine from the hills of Tennessee. And that's what we like to offer folks.
There's a real heritage of the moonshining around here, and a lot of people did it out of economic necessity, actually. You know, I've talked to a number of people who said, well, my grandfather did this here, and it's how we bought groceries and bought shoes, because these subsistence farmers made it because they really needed to. But that's what we're trying. We're just going with that Tennessee tradition, and we're trying to make it in an old traditional way.
Yeah, that's the way they do it at Tenn South Distillery in Linville.